We're all dealing with feeling. We're all coping with feeling. Looking inside your heart is the place that you should start. Then you can heal. Then you can be real. So open up your heart. It's time to start. Dealing with feeling. Coping with feeling. Open up your heart. It's time to start.
Okay.
Welcome to Dealing with Feelings and Feeling Fridays with Dr. Jim Porter, my husband, and me, Karen White Porter, author of the I Feel When book series. Today, we're going to talk about the emotion and feeling of shy. And I have a little PowerPoint to share with you about how Ed felt really shy because he moved into a new neighborhood and had all these new friends. And I'm thinking the title is going to be I Feel Shy When We Play New Games. So here's Ed, and you can see
he's moving
into a new house. And I'm going to have a new bedroom in there too for him.
Wow, it's a pretty neighborhood.
You like it? Yeah, it's a nice area that they live in.
What does it say in that page there? Do you like this? Do you like that? Was that for shy?
I
just saw
this.
It was after that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got shy in it. Okay, you did a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, and these are just some things to consider about being shy. So we all know that.
Just right there, it may not be for your book, but one thing you know about how kids develop a secure attachment style, right?
No, tell me about that.
Their parents are there and they let them wander, and they are happy when the kids wander back, and the kid learns to wander further and further away and feel that safe, secure base is there. So when they try to do studies, at least the way they used to do it is on what kind of an attachment style a child has, they would bring in, typically it's the mother, in the old days, and a lot of the new days are similar to the old days, so I'll just say the mother, but they'll have the parent come in, I'll say that, and with the child, and then they will have like interesting things that kids like in the room, and they may set it up where there's just this one area, or it could be all through the room, but then the basic simplest thing they do is watch how the child behaves toward the mother and how the mother behaves toward the child, but mostly how the child does things. So if the child just wanders off and plays with the toys, not even thinking about mom, apparently, not looking back at her, just doing it, then you know that this child has some kind of detachment, lack of bond. You don't know, but you infer. And when a child just clings to the mother, you know that the child has another kind of bond. We wouldn't call that a secure one either. Neither of those would be called secure or ideal. A child who is looking at the mother and wandering toward the thing, and then suddenly runs back, that's not considered a secure attachment style either. It shows possibly that the child is worried that the mother's going to catch him going over to play with the toys, and that's not a good thing when mom notices me doing things. And so there's another one where a child looks at the toys, looks up at the mother looks down at the child, and either says no or says yes. And often enough, a mother or father or parent will say yes. They'll nod or say go ahead. And then the child will go over, and not only will the child look over sometimes just to make sure that mommy's there and smile, and mom will respond, or dad, like I said, but the child will want to come back with some of it to show it to the parent. And that's a really ideal situation that they call it secure attachment style. And all of these children with these different attachment styles, even the very secure attachment style child, will have natural shyness. So that's my punchline. So anyway, thank you for showing me that page. Yeah.
Well, cool. And so with Ed, all of a sudden he moves into a new neighborhood, and that could make him feel shy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I set the scene that way, because
Mm-hmm.
it's normal.
It's natural, normal,
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah. So, but other kids sometimes don't know how to handle it or what to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's where I want to write this book, so that kids can feel comfortable telling their parents they feel shy. And maybe other children can realize that sometimes you just need to really keep trying with kids that feel shy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I changed some of the sentences right here. 6 ways to help your child overcome shyness. I think that's going to be 6 ways to overcome shyness. Or not even, I might even just.
6 questions that will help you understand your shyness or something.
Yeah,
like
that might be better. Yeah.
You feel shy around new places and situations. Yeah. Yeah. Those are good questions. And alteration of the heading,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
And how should you tell somebody you feel shy? I can't imagine if somebody's already shy.
And there are 7 of them.
Okay.
This is all about the writing process.
Editing, right?
All your audience gets to see the behind the scenes of what it's like to write a book. So
Yes.
the thing is you put 6 ways and you write 7 bullet points as part of the process.
I knew I was going to throw one of them out. I don't know which one you're.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. So
this is intended to get children and parents and readers thinking and realizing that there's a thoughtful process.
yeah. And
Okay.
think about, how do you cope with it, and how did Ed feel? And my thought is that most people, including Ed, who happens to be a monster, they don't like go and say, oh gosh, I'm not talking to you right now because I feel shy.
Yeah, it's not.
Obviously, because if you're feeling shy, you're not going to talk to them in the first place.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an awkward thing to think about how you would express it. So maybe it's not necessarily accurate, but here we go. So one of the kids comes over to play box ball. And
I'm just going to say, though, I can imagine in certain circles at certain ages, someone saying, sorry, I'm not talking to you. I'm kind of naturally shy. That I could see somebody getting away with that, and actually that being very proactive. But
yeah,
regardless,
and that's why I'm writing this, because so kids can do this.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why it's going to go. That's how it's going to go in this book. And there are kids that would do that. You're right. Okay, you gave me permission. Thank you.
There may be kids that do that, but
yeah,
there will be after your book is written. They will learn.
Yes.
All right.
Look, Ed does not want to play. Is he shy? Ada said, Ed will not play with me now. Is he shy? Look, Deb can play with a doll. Ed said, I feel shy when I play a new game.
Oh.
Cal said, ask Ed if he can play a board game. Ed said, Cal said, Ed will not play now. Obviously, I should put it. I feel shy when I play a new game, Ed said. Ed said, I feel too shy. Ed sees Ben play ball. Ben said, he is alone. Ben said, can you play ball with me? Ed said, I can try now. I have a yellow ball. Look at all the balls. Ben wants to play with the balls. Ben said, can you play ball with me? Come play now. I will try, Ed said. Ed said, I feel shy when I play a new game. Deb said, we will show you. Deb said, here you go. We can play ball. I'll just say Ben or Ed hid behind the curtains. I'm going to put that somewhere. I don't know where. will you play ball with me now? Okay. Oh, okay. So that's the end of that, and I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I think eventually he's, at the beginning, we can remember at the very, very beginning, you could see that he actually has his own yellow ball.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
That's important to him, and even in other stories, he has a yellow ball.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
through line. I
Yeah.
did see in my head popped up something that is there, and I'm not sure if you're going to keep it there, but that Ben was a little bit lonely and perhaps he was a little shy too.
Mm,
I mean, go back to that frame if you don't mind. There's a part where Ed sees Ben play ball. Then what? Ben said he is, Ben notices that Ed's alone. So
yeah.
Ben invites Ed to play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So that's the idea. You're hoping to show children that it's good to try to ask the person who's just sitting there if they want to play,
Yeah.
because they might be shy, which I believe a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know that a kid is sitting there is shy. I've heard a lot of people judge people to be stuck up or loners or something.
Yeah. So
All right. I will try. So what's
that's Ed, obviously. I have to do a lot of artwork here. These are just pictures. But yeah. So I think shyness is one of those tough feelings that we have to learn how to cope with, because it's hard to tell people that you're shy. But I think it's important for people to recognize shyness.
they call that a negative feedback loop, I think. No, they call it, see, a negative feedback loop would decrease something. I think. Positive, yeah. Negative feedback loop means I can't say hello to somebody because I'm shy or I'm having trouble. It decreases. And then I feel more shy, and then I'm less likely to ask.
It's like a vicious cycle, really, isn't it?
Mhm. So it's very-
But in essence, though, I think it's important that we consider other people's feelings and know that they're not always the same thing we would feel. Because I'm one of these people that I never feel shy.
I know
And I
this.
never. So when somebody else is feeling shy, I'm like, I really don't understand that very
Have
much.
you ever have you ever? You're so gregarious that I want. Have you ever been tempted to ride the bus just because there's so many people on it?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. But still, you're pretty outgoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, enough about it. So what's the structure of the book? Those questions come before or after the story?
They'll come afterwards.
Come after?
Go through the whole thing of Ed. I think when you're in a new situation, I have noticed about myself that when I'm in a new situation, I'm not going to stand up there in front of everybody and pretend like I know what I'm doing. Shyness, I don't know.
And this is for anybody to read to children, so parents might read it to children. Do you put little tips about, kids and how they can be better at reaching out,
So, well, that might be a good question. Like, do you have any friends that might be shy? Or do you know anyone who is shy? How
the
can you help
parents?
them?
Do
No,
do you have anything for the parents or for the adults reading the
well, it's
book?
that paragraph saying that it's normal developmentally for children to be shy. And that I think, as I just thought about it deeply myself, I think the best thing you really can do as a parent is just be there and be a strong, secure force and available for your child, so they feel safe.
Mhm.
And once you build that safety net, they will come out of their shell, whatever that is. You know, I remember when we were doing the landscaping for the school, and Denise, who is a landscape architect, said, you know, children need a fence. They feel safer when there's a fence around their yard,
That
because
makes sense. I mean, common sense bully.
yeah. So by creating boundaries and structure, a child feels safer.
I
They
would,
don't have to constantly figure them out on their own. I'm sorry.
no. I think that if I were going to give advice to a parent to understand, to be the beginning of their children learning to have a secure attachment style, is to actually go online or go to a therapist or some other kind of professional mental health person, and or just read a book on attachment style and try to figure out what their own personal attachment style, both parents, and realize that the way you interact with your kid helps determine what kind of an attachment style they're going to have. And then from the reading you do, you'll find that if you can bring yourself to, if you can work on yourself, you will become a better and better center for the children, to a better home base, and eventually they will internalize you as a home base inside themselves. They'll
Yes.
feel generally secure wherever they go. So that I encourage all parents, educators, and everybody watching this to study up on attachment style.
So do you think being shy is demonstrates an insecure attachment style?
I don't, I don't think so, especially as an emotion. If I sometimes feel shy, um, whenever you feel an emotion, it might be telling you about something that's going on in the environment. And you may not cognitively know what it is yet, but it sort of alerts you. And so all emotions generally have potential function in a situation. But if you're feeling really shy and feeling, whatever that feeling is, which is another thing to get them to examine, does it feel like fear? Does it feel like boredom? What does it feel like? Um,
And you know, now that you say that, that brings up an important point that I've discovered in my study of all emotions, that if you're having trouble coping with any one particular emotion, if you stay with it and process it and
mhm.
allow it long enough, it'll dissipate.
Yes, it'll transform or dissipate. Yes, it's just like weather. It's going to change. Thunderstorm won't
Emotions
stay.
don't hang out for very long.
No.
Unfortunately, even joy, happiness, and all the good ones, they come and go too.
But if you always have a sunny day, that'll be turning into a very bad thing ultimately.
Yeah, you
You
need
know,
everything.
yeah, or the plants will burn up. So yeah, so no, I don't think it's like a disordered or problematic thing to be shy. I would say most any tendency or trait in a person, it's a matter of degree. It's a matter of degree. Everybody
And
needs,
in a new environment, shy might be a good coping mechanism to cope with the new environment, because you're
yeah,
you aren't running out there and experiencing everything wholeheartedly because you want to test the water.
yeah. You may just take it all in, and then at some point you feel yourself naturally, wanting to engage people. And then some people will just burst on in, and they may do fine. They may be very outgoing. And if they're very skilled at their outgoingness, then that can work out. But that can also, so yeah, no, shyness is not inherently good or bad. Yeah. It's and especially because we're talking about both a tendency and a feeling. So a shy feeling is just one of the many beautiful things on the menu for us to feel, you know.
Yeah. So that it's important that we look at emotions as guideposts,
Mhm.
or like on the sea of life, they're little lighthouses that show us how to navigate
Mm.
where we're going.
Yeah, you know what? I imagine you have felt shy in your life, you know,
Yeah.
even though you're pretty outgoing. So there may be some scenarios where you feel more and less shy or like hanging back or whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
mm,
Well, remember what we always say, feelings aren't right or wrong.
they just are. R.
They are.
It's the letter R. All right. Thank you for inviting me on your channel.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.